Hey everybody, my name is Morgan and I'm currently a junior here at Liberty, and I live in Tequila, Georgia, actually about 45 minutes or so from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the youngest of three kids, and we live here in Atlanta, but before I was born my parents actually lived up in Colorado, and my whole family was born up in the Midwest. So I'm the only Georgia peach down here, and some part of me wishes that I was born up there like everybody else, but I guess that makes me special. So basically my whole life I have been in sports. I did soccer for about 8 years or so. I was a volleyball player for 1 year, and then I also was a dancer for about 8 years. So I've been heavily involved my whole life, and just my family's always been so supportive, and I've been attending Liberty, I've been working full-time as well at a chiropractic office as a front office manager and chiropractic assistant. So life is great, and God's blessed me tremendously, and I love what I get to do. And I'm currently studying healthcare administration, just for hopes to one day just be an administrator in some sort of doctor's office, like a practice manager, or even be a administrator in a hospital above a department. But my overall hope and dream is to be an executive director of an assisted living home. I worked at an assisted living home for about 2 years, and was a certified nursing assistant there, and also a med tech. So I grew a huge heart for the people I was working with, and so I'm hoping to one day be able to run the place. And the place that I was at was not necessarily the greatest place and didn't care for the residents like they should have, and so I want to be able to be that person to care for those residents. So I can't wait to see what God brings me to after I finish all these courses, and I have about 11 classes left, so I'm super close. But anyway, my life-changing event would probably have to be back when I was around 12 years old. I was finishing up a soccer game that we had won, and I had scored a bunch of goals, which was great because I was normally the goalie, so I never had the chance to score the goals. Well, that day I was playing offense, and I got the chance to score some goals. So my dad actually owns a motorcycle, and I used to always just ride on the back of his motorcycle just for fun and to spend quality time with him. So as we were doing that, I was on the back. I was wearing just a normal sweatshirt and sweatpants and like my jersey underneath it. And so the back of the chair on his motorcycle did not have a full seat rest. So I was kind of hanging off, but it was normal. I would just hang on to my dad as tight as I could as we rode down the road. And we always did it as just like quality time thing. So one day we were going to go get some ice cream after that soccer game, and we were riding down a road that we always rode down. It had a hill, and we ended up stopping at a stop sign, and as we stopped at that stop sign, there was a car coming, so we waited a little bit and we went up the hill. My dad was going a little bit faster than normal, and it's hard to remember this just because it was so traumatic, but I was apparently not holding on as tight as I should have, and was only really holding on to my dad's jacket pockets instead of all the way around him like I should have. And as that was happening, my whole, as we were going over that hill really fast, I felt myself just slowly pull away, and wasn't holding on tight enough, and I just couldn't grab onto my dad as we were going over the hill. And as that was happening, I just flew off the back of the motorcycle, and my body skidded across the wheel and skidded across the road, and I landed face first onto the road, which it's still hard to even talk about today because it was so scary. I barely want to think about it, but all I can remember in that moment is just thinking oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Is there a car behind me? Am I going to get run over? Is the car going to see me? So I was screaming for my dad, even though he probably couldn't hear me over the motorcycle. And as that was happening, he realized that I wasn't hanging on anymore, and he turned around and came after me. And I had road rashes all over my body, and my sweatpants were all torn up. My jersey was torn up, and I thank the Lord to this day that I there was no cars. Like, by the grace of God, there was no cars when I had skidded off that motorcycle. So the reason why that was such a life-changing event is just because I realized how much God is looking after me and how much worse that could have been. And it made me realize that I needed to hold on even tighter to my dad the next time. It took me forever to get back onto the motorcycle, but I overcame my fear and I ended up getting back on. But I really just realized how much God is there for me. Like, honestly, anything could have happened, and I felt after that day when I saw my life flash before my eyes, I felt immediately closer to God, and since then I've been stronger from it. So that was a very crucial moment in my life, but I'm excited to continue in this class and learn much more about all of you guys. So thanks for listening.